Good afternoon, everyone. Hope everybody had a good weekend. We gave the guys the weekend off, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Get them away, get them refreshed, recharged, mentally and physically. And as a staff, we did some recruiting and then came back in on Sunday and started to dive even deeper into a really good football game that we're playing. A really good opponent in KU. Got to go on the road. Haven't seen the guys yet. We'll see them this afternoon. I know they've been in the weight room, but just been busy. So we'll see the guys this afternoon. We'll have a pretty good practice today and have a pretty normal week of preparation leading to Saturday at 11 o'clock. They're really talented, and as I watch them, it all starts with Daniels. Been really impressed with him for a number of years now. He's been in the program, been in their system, and have so much respect for how he plays, and you can tell he's the leader of the whole group. He's played really well. The Texas Tech game, that happens. And obviously they're a really good football team, but he stayed in the fight. I think that's the thing that was impressed me the most is he stayed in the fight, taking some shots and stuff and kept coming back. But I think they've got really good skill kids on offense, as they always do. Once again, he makes them go on offense and on defense. They're a little bit different than they have been in the past. They've got a new defensive coordinator. I know he had been there, but they're a little bit different in the past on defense. But you can take everything and throw it out when it comes to this game because especially when both teams had bye weeks. So you're going to see some different looks, I'm sure.
Have your thoughts and feelings and maybe the value that you put on this game changed since your first year?
I try not to think about the game until the week of the game. And I've tried to do a really good job of that for that's going on 7 years. Because if you put all your chips in and talk about it in the off season and talk about it in the summer and talk about it then what's the value of all these other games that you have played or going to play? But once the week starts, all you got to do is get with Taylor Bratt and you know the meaning of it, right? I mean, Sped's, Mr. K-State here, in my opinion, of how valuable the rivalry is. But I know it's a big game. I know it's a big game for the state. I know it's a big game for the former players. I know it's a big game for the fan base, alumni, all that stuff. But it's still the next game, and our preparation has to be great Monday through Friday. Saturday's going to get here fast enough.
What's the extent of Toby Ursen's?
He's done for the year. I do not. We didn't do anything with him last week, and that was by design for a lot of the guys. We worked a lot more developmental last week. Still some KU stuff, but a lot more developmental stuff. And I really don't have an answer on a handful of guys that we probably won't know about till Tuesday or Wednesday.
You mentioned this just a second ago, but how much of a wrench does it throw into everything both teams have 2 weeks of?
Yeah. Obviously, you're going to see some different things, different wrinkles, offensively and defensively, special teams from both of us. I still think it goes back to what do you do really well, and you look at that over a period of 7 games, which we've both played, to say, maybe we do something really well. What's a different way we can present it so that we can disguise it a little bit? But obviously, you're going to see a lot of different looks from them offensively because they're very, very creative offensively, and they have that ability to be that creative when you have a guy that's taken as many snaps as Jalen has. So they're going to have a lot of different formations, shift, trades, motions. They always do, but now you add to the fact that we have the open week. But I would say the same thing with Coach Wells. Wellesley's going to have a lot of different presentations as well. It's just what you do this time of year, especially when you've got 7 games on each other. And so it's going to come down to controlling the line of scrimmage, who wins the line of scrimmage, and then who wins a lot of the one-on-one matchups.
Kind of piggybacking off of what the Kansas game means, just the win streak at the same time. Just how do you keep that from extra added pressure to the players?
I think they all know it. I think they're smart enough if they're seeing things, reading things, hearing about it. They all know it's there. I've said it since the day I arrived here. No matter who you're playing, man, this is this game for this week, and that could have been last week or 2 weeks ago when we played TCU or played Baylor and so on and so forth. I don't think you can get caught up into it and use it as part of your preparation. I don't believe in that. You don't need to tell guys where it's at. They probably know, but the streak's going to have nothing to do with Saturday. Who can friggin' block? Who can get off blocks? Who can tackle? Who can make plays on the ball? Who can do all the little things? And that's, in this game, those little things get magnified. And I guess you guys can see it across college football. Man, every game is a grind for people of how you can get into a position to be successful and have a chance to win in the fourth quarter, because there's a lot more close games in college football now.
After the last bye, you came back really puffed up about how they were, just the energy and everything. Just what is it about this bye? What's got you looking at this week?
Yeah, a couple things. The last bye was early in the season. We kind of went back to fall camp mode that we missed some time going to Ireland and just played football that first bye week. This one, now you got 7 games into it. Got a lot of guys beat up. Everybody does across college football. So you're trying to give those guys a break and get them healed up, as well as, there's still a big development piece here at K-State that we've got to be really good at and we've got to focus on. And so that was our main focus, was the guys that have been scout team or reading cards, letting those guys play football against each other. And that was the focal point. So I expect the guys to have really good energy coming back, to be, refreshed physically as well as mentally.
You got some Kansas natives on this team. I'm curious if in previous years, do you have maybe a captain or two, or maybe someone from the team who's from the state of Kansas, maybe speak to the team about just what it means to them or the state?
We've done that for 6 years, and this year is going to be number 7, and you'll find out who those speakers are probably at the end of the week. But it's something that's really important, D. Scott. I think the biggest reason that it's important, and it's getting more and more important, I'm sure KU would say the same thing, is the amount of turnover that's happening now within football teams or new players, whether they're freshmen or transfers coming in. And the bottom line is we have them, they have them. I want those kids to know how important it is for these Kansas kids that have been around here for so long, that they need to know about this game.
You had said, I think after the last game, that waking up in the morning for 2 weeks and in a better mood.
That's over with now, D. Scott. Now I can be in a bad mood again.
But what was that week like? I mean, waking up, just positive, ready to go, and knowing this is a team that is essential.
I guess we did probably a deeper dive, and you can do that probably with less negative feelings coming off of a win of, okay, what do we need to do? Let's look at self-scout, offensively, defensively, and special teams. What do we need to adjust? What do we need to change? What do we need to continue to do more of? As well as then let's get to those developmental kids and give them a chance to really get coached by their position coaches. And obviously all that stuff's a lot easier to do. The energy's a lot better at practice Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, and I'm sure it was in the weight room. I know it was in the weight room coming off of a win. You're sore, but maybe that soreness doesn't feel so bad. It's college football right now.
When the last 3 games, I guess, of improved play
Yep.
back, is there any? Do you wish that maybe didn't have the bye
Yeah.
week, so you keep that going, or do you like the fact that you have the
You know, you can spin that either way, but I understand the question, and I agree with you as far as we played really good football for 3 weeks, and I know we didn't win all 3 of them. We played much better, that you want to keep going. But that's not how the schedule goes, and that's one of those things, control what you can control, and that one we can't control. So it's letting them get their bodies back last week and then reminding them why we've played good football the last 3 weeks. It's because of our preparation and because of what we've done at practice and what the guys have done extra outside of practice. If you don't do those things, then don't expect good results. You've got to continue to go back to what has made us a better team the last 3 weeks.
And then last time I asked about George Fitzpatrick, you mentioned maybe October. I just wanted to see where his status was
Yeah,
now.
probably not likely, but that's something that they're still having conversations with doctors about trying to get him to get out and practice, but nothing foreseeable right now.
Over the 2 out of the last 3 wins, the last 3 weeks of playing games, is there a stat or just a group of guys that have been getting better that you've been proud of the most that tells that story?
Yeah, I would say the offensive line, that they have played a lot better. We've been able to rush the football. We've been able to protect Avery. And when you can do those things, you're going to be able to sustain drives. And that's probably the biggest thing that you'd see over the last 3 weeks is we had the ability to stay on the field. And I think that's a credit to what those O-line are doing, as well as a credit to Avery continuing to improve and play to our strengths, whatever those strengths are. I'll keep those to myself. But I just think overall, when the offensive line has played better, it's allowed us to be much more balanced as an offense.
Can I ask what's with the extra cameras today?
Yeah, this is a TNT broadcast, and we've got the folks from TNT in here, and they're doing a little documentary on K-State football as where we speak right now. And so happy to have the guys. We just had an interview upstairs, and they're going to be around a little bit this week, and happy for the partnership that the Big 12 has with TNT. I think that's something that I didn't realize until we had this opportunity, because this is our first chance. I know KU's already been on TNT. This is our first opportunity, and it's a great thing to showcase the Big 12 and showcase the schools in the Big 12.
I also wanted to ask, Kansas has had some struggles defending the run. A few teams have really put up big yards on them on the ground. When you see that happen against not just them, against any opponent, as a coach, do you lean into that and say, man, we probably need to copy this in some way?
Yeah, I would probably tell you the same thing that Lance is looking at, or they're looking at when they look at us. If you miss a fit, and they've missed a couple of fits, and it goes for a big play, and it's like, oh, I bet they got that corrected because that linebacker's supposed to be in that B gap, or that safety's supposed to be in that A gap, whatever it may be. And, you know, that's some of the things you do during an open week, is try to shore some of those things up. But it's not a lack of anything of, nope, the kid fell out of the fit. He was not in the right gap. Same thing that's happened to us on some of our explosive runs that we've given up is, by scheme, it's right, but if you don't fit your right gap, then you're going to give up explosive plays, especially with the good running backs in this league.
When it comes to running the ball with Dylan's status, unknown, is there a certain amount of time he needs to practice before he can play, or can he take mental reps and just step right in?
He needs to practice, and whether that's limited or whether that's full go, I don't think he'll be full go from a practice standpoint. It'd probably be pretty limited, but we're going with the assumption that he probably wouldn't play, and if he does, it's a bonus to us. And Joe's doing a good job. Devon Rice is doing a good job. Avery's got to be able to carry the football a little bit. Blake Barnett's got to be able to carry the football a little. I mean, there's a lot of different things that go into it. But this time of year you have that, whether it's whatever position. If there's a linebacker that doesn't play practice a whole lot, can you give them enough mental reps? Most of our guys have been playing long enough that you could give a few guys mental reps. Dylan hasn't played enough football yet this year. He's played a lot, and we trust him, but we'd want to get him more practice time. And we'll find out on Tuesday and Wednesday how much he can do.